Hello everyone, welcome to my GMB news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The bright studio lights of Good Morning Britain gleamed off the glass table as the cameras rolled, capturing the tension that buzzed through the air. Outside, the London skyline shimmered under a pale autumn sun, but inside the ITV studios, the atmosphere was heavy, thick with frustration, hope, and the uneasy rumble of political disillusionment. Poised yet empathetic as ever, adjusted her papers and offered a composed smile to the camera. Beside her sat Ed Balls, who glanced over his notes, brows furrowed, as if he already sensed the storm that was about to unfold. Their guest that morning wasn't a politician, nor a celebrity, but a voice of the people. A woman named Taylor, 46, a mother of two from who'd once proudly voted all her life. But today, she was here for a different reason, to say she'd had enough. Leaned forward slightly, her tone soft but serious. You've been a lifelong voter. You've supported the party through ups and downs, through and now. But recently, you've said you're thinking about something different. Can you tell us why? Lips trembled for a moment before she spoke. Because I'm tired, she began, her voice wavering between anger and exhaustion. I'm tired of promises, tired of speeches, tired of waiting. Told us to give him time, but how much time does he need while people like me are drowning? The audience in the studio was silent. You could almost hear the hum of the cameras. His eyes glistened as she continued. I can't pay my rent. I'm facing eviction next month. My landlord's threatening to change the locks if I don't catch up. I've got 2 kids. I work full-time in a care home. I'm not lazy. I'm not sitting around waiting for benefits. But I can't survive anymore. Ed Balls looked up, visibly uncomfortable. He said softly, the Prime Minister's argued that his government needs more time to reverse the damage of previous administrations. More time, interrupted, slamming her hand on the table. We don't have time, that's what I'm trying to say. People like me are being crushed. While they argue in Parliament, I'm sitting at my kitchen table wondering how to feed my kids. Interjected carefully. So, you've said you're thinking of changing your vote. Who are you considering next time? There was a pause, a deliberate one. Looked straight at the camera, her expression hardening. I'm looking at Reform UK, she said, her voice firm. "'S party, because they're the only ones who seem to be talking about us, the working people." There was a noticeable shuffle in the studio. Ed Balls blinked, taken aback. Reform UK, that's quite a shift, isn't it? Didn't flinch? Yeah, it is. But tell me, what's doing for us anymore? What's doing for the people who worked their whole lives, who pay taxes, who play by the rules? I used to believe was for the working class. Now it feels like they've forgotten who they're supposed to fight for. Glanced toward Ed, who was scribbling notes but wasn't finished. Talks about helping ordinary people, she continued. He says we shouldn't be punished for working hard. He's not about everything like the rest of them. He's not perfect, but at least he says what he means. Tilted her head. But the Prime Minister recently called Reform's immigration policy racist. Doesn't that concern you? His eyes flashed. No, not at all. I was born here. My parents were born here. We've always worked, always contributed. Reform to me isn't about hate. It's about fairness. About looking after the people who built this country, the nurses, the care workers, the builders, the bus drivers. We're the backbone of Britain, and we've been ignored. The studio fell quiet again. Even the crew behind the cameras were listening. Spoke carefully. So you're saying you believe reform represents people like you better than does now? I'm saying, replied, that I don't see fighting for me anymore. I see excuses. I see silence. And I see a Prime Minister who talks about difficult decisions while I'm choosing between heating and food. Ed Balls sighed. You know, that's a powerful statement. But some would argue reform's policies lack the depth or experience to truly fix the economy. Isn't there a risk in putting your faith in a newer, smaller party? Leaned back, folding her arms. Maybe, but what's the point of sticking with a party that's already failed me? Outside of the studio, her words spread like wildfire. Within hours, clips of his interview went viral. Hashtags like Speaks For Us and Fail trended on X, formerly Twitter. Across social media, thousands of people echoed her frustration. By afternoon, political commentators were dissecting every line. One pundit on BBC Radio 4 said, "What we saw this morning wasn't just an angry voter, it was a symptom of something deeper. Disillusionment, desperation. The people who once formed heart are turning away." Later that evening, in a small flat inn, sat on her sofa scrolling through her phone. Her face appeared on the screen again and again, news sites, opinion pieces, even memes. Some praised her courage, others mocked her for falling for. Her teenage daughter peeked from the kitchen doorway. "Mum," she said hesitantly, "people online are talking about you. Are you okay?" Sighed, putting her phone down. "I didn't do it for fame, love. I did it because someone has to say what's really happening out here." Nodded slowly. "Do you think he'll listen?" Looked out the window at the dim streetlights flickering below. "He should, because if he doesn't, he won't just lose me, he'll lose millions like me." Days later, a new poll confirmed what many feared. Public confidence in had plummeted to an all-time low. Out of 1,100 adults surveyed, a staggering 79% said they were dissatisfied with his leadership. Only 13% expressed any form of satisfaction. That left him with a net approval rating of -66, making him officially the least popular prime minister in modern British history, surpassing even Rishi and John Major. In Westminster, panic rippled through the ranks. Behind closed doors, aides whispered about strategy, damage control, and the effect. "She represents the heart of our problem," one strategist muttered in a meeting. "The working-class voters who feel abandoned. If we can't win them back, reform will." Meanwhile, seized the moment. Appearing on GB News, he smiled knowingly. "You see, she's not alone. She's part of a movement, a growing number of ordinary Britons who are tired of being ignored. She's lost touch, and reform is ready to speak for them." Back in, eviction notice finally arrived. A thin white envelope slipped under the door. She stared at it for a long time before tearing it open. Her rent arrears had reached £1,200. She had 14 days to pay or leave. Tears filled her eyes. "I work every day," she whispered. "How is this fair?" Her phone buzzed, another message from a journalist asking for an interview. She ignored it. What good were more words when her life was falling apart? But then, another message appeared, this one from a local Reform UK. "Hi, saw you on GMB. You spoke for so many of us. Would love to meet and discuss how we can make real change. You're not alone." She hesitated, staring at the screen. Part of her wanted to delete it. Another part, the part that still believed in hope, whispered that maybe, just maybe, she could make a difference. She typed a short reply. "Okay, let's talk." By the next morning, story had become a rallying cry, a symbol of the quiet fury brewing across Britain. Her face appeared in newspapers, her quotes printed beside headlines like "Loses its heartland" and "Reform on the rise." In the corridors of power, advisors debated how to respond. But outside Westminster's marble walls, people were already deciding for themselves. And as autumn deepened into winter, one thing became clear. The tide of politics was shifting, not in speeches, not in Parliament, but in living rooms and kitchens across the nation. Where once the red banner of had flown proudly, a new blue and silver was beginning to rise. And at the heart of it all stood a woman named, a voice trembling with truth, saying once more, "We don't have time, we just want to live." So what do you guys think about this update? Let me know in the comments below, and if you like my videos, please press like and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next time.